Hi, so today we are here to discuss something about immunity. So, what is immunity? Immunity is the resistance of our body against certain kind of pathogen. So, it is the capacity of our body to resist or fight against infection. So, that capacity of our body is called immunity. There are certain kind of cells or tissues or organs which are involved in our immunity. So these arrangement or the arrangement of those cells, tissues or organs are known as immune system. So this arrangement of the cells, organs or tissues in our body to fight against the infectious diseases or infectious pathogen is also known as immune system. So immune system is not a simple thing. Immune system is basically a complex network. So complexity depends upon because immune system is divided into two types. Number one is innate immunity, and second one is adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is the native one. We say it as native because it is present inside our body since our birth. And adaptive immunity, we called it as adaptive immunity because it is acquired when we are fighting against new kind of pathogen. Every time when the new kind of pathogen enters our body develops certain kind of cells against it, and when the next time that pathogen enters our body is ready to fight that pathogen very quickly, or the time period of fighting that pathogen is reduced for the next time. So this is done by our acquired immunity. So there are two kinds of immunity. One is innate immunity and second one is acquired immunity. So what is innate immunity? So first one we are discussing about innate immunity. It is first line of defense. It is also called as first line of defense or native immunity because it is present in all the individuals, all the organisms, and it is present all the time basically. Adaptive immunity particularly play into role when we are affected by a certain kind of pathogen or a specific kind of foreign particle enters our body or specific kind of pathogen enters our body, then adaptive immunity plays a role. So new pathogen is recognized by innate immunity, that is before the adaptive immunity comes into the role. That is why it is also known as first line of defense. What are the features of innate immunity? First, we are going to discuss the features of innate immunity. So, basically, innate immunity is present inside our body since our birth. And second one, it is first line of defense, we have already discussed. Third, it is not specific for certain kind of pathogen as adaptive immunity does. It is for all the pathogen. It work against all kinds of pathogen, whether it is bacteria, whether it is virus, whether it's fungi, whether it's protozoans or etc. Any kind of pathogen enters our body is first attacked by innate immunity or first responded by innate immunity. Afterwards adaptive immunity comes into the role, and also it works against all kind of pathogen. It does not discriminate whether it is working against bacteria or whether it is working against virus. It is working against all the kinds of pathogen. It is functional since birth. The innate immunity is functional since birth. It is not getting acquired through our growth or when we are getting infected by a pathogen. Innate immunity does not do that. Innate immunity is always present inside the body and working against that particular pathogen also in the same way as it does to all kind of pathogen. Means all pathogens are same for innate immunity. So there are components of innate immune system. So what is the components are based on? The basis of components of immune system is first our body develops a strategy to face that particular pathogen or face any kind of pathogen. Number one, it is avoiding or avoidance. Number one thing is avoidance, that our body try to avoid or prevent the exposure to that certain kind of pathogen. Second one is developing resistance against that kind of pathogen. Resistance means to fight against it, to reduce the number of that pathogen or to eliminate the pathogen. And the third thing our body does or immune system does is to enhance the tolerance. Tolerance is to limit the damage that is done by the pathogen inside our body. So these are the three kinds of strategy our immune system deals with the pathogen. So we have already discussed all three kinds of strategy which is taking place. Now, principal components of innate immunity. We have to discuss principal components of innate immunity. In this video, we are not discussing any kind of immunity in detail. Maybe we are discussing all the details in the next upcoming videos. In this video, I am just giving you description about or a short summary about the immune system and the components of immune system and the types of immune system, that is innate and adaptive. So we are just having a introduction type of thing related to immune system or immunity. So, what are the principal components of innate immunity? First one, physical or chemical barriers. So, the first thing the pathogen deals with when it interact with our body or comes in contact with our body, the first line of defense is physical or chemical barrier, such as skin, such as microbial chemicals that are produced, and epithelial layer of our body. That is our covering. The first thing which comes into contact with the pathogen is our outer covering, that is skin, epithelium, and chemicals, basically physical barriers. Second one is proteins. When it enters our body, certain kinds of proteins are released and certain kinds of components are released, proteinaceous components, which makes up our component systems and complement systems, and other mediators of that component systems get activated with that complement system after inflammation. Then other things is cellular components such as B cells, T cells, NK cells, natural killer cells, then dendritic cells, macrophages, and other kind of cells are getting activated when our body is dealing with the pathogen and seriously fighting with the pathogen. Then cellular associated pattern recognition receptors are there inside our body, and there are some sensors inside our body which are getting activated when our body is getting infected or facing certain kind of pathogen for the first time. So these are the components of innate immunity, and other components or other kind of immunity, that is acquired immunity, we are going to discuss in detail in upcoming videos. I will give you short introductions of all the kind of details about it in upcoming videos. So kindly like and subscribe.